Welcome to the Golden State Media Concepts Life and Happiness Podcast, the show that takes you on a journey of exploration. We'll discuss tried and true methods alongside the latest trends of how to best live your life to its fullest and happiest. From psychology to meditation, science to self-help books, the GSMC Life and Happiness Podcast will help you to discover what makes you happy and how you can live life being the best you possible.
Thank you for tuning in to the GSMC Life and Happiness Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I am your host, Jordan Hall. Hello everybody. I'm back with another podcast as usual. This time for this podcast, I actually really tried to go outside the box and find topics that I haven't really done before. I mean, I know I've said that before, but this time I'm honestly really trying to pick things that will honestly inspire people to do the exact same thing. And I really hope it inspires all of you to do the same and really think outside the box. So I hope I inspire you today. So let me share what we're going to talk about today. Today, we're going to talk about amazing hairstyles that will make you feel great, and specifically confident women, but you can be a guy too if you want. It doesn't matter the gender. Best tips for making a new friend and keeping that friend, because I know I struggled a lot with that growing up, so it might help some introverted people who are afraid to step outside the box. Amazing things to put in a time capsule, and then if you stick around until the end of the show, I will add on to that point, and I will tell you my own personal items that I actually personally would put in a time capsule, and I'm actually planning to do that too, because I really want to make one. So I'm excited. Let's get to it. So the first one we're going to talk about is amazing hairstyles that will make you feel great. And I'm actually excited for this one because I'm not very good at doing my own hair. So maybe this will inspire me and other women to finally do something for themselves and finally do their own hair. I mean, it's great to have your mom help you once in a while, but you need to know how to do your own hair and impress the guys that are around you, because that's how you either get a boyfriend or that's how you express yourself, usually through your hair, through your wardrobe, anything like that. So I found a website called therighthairstyles.com, and it says, since the 1980s, women have become a powerful presence in the business world. While carrying early, powerful women felt the need to downplay their sexuality with their hair. Yeah, I feel like that's a big thing. I mean, even they, them people who are non-binary are allowed to express themselves. This isn't just for women. I feel like there's a lot of labels on, oh, it just has to be a woman, or it just has to be a woman, or it just has to be, it's strictly this. No, it's not strictly anything. You can do anything, honestly. Modern working women are embracing their smarts while getting creative with their look. Not just women, again, anyone can do it. It's easy to keep it professional while still maintaining a sense of style and confidence with these 20 professional hairstyles for work. Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, I didn't know it was strictly for work, but I mean, you can do this anytime. If you're going out to a restaurant or you're going on your first date or something, that would work. Anything that's a special occasion, or you just feel like expressing yourself. Either way, again, it's not just strictly anything. Just go wild, experiment. It says hairstyles for girls who run the world. Again, future warning. If I say girls, it can be for anybody, honestly. Just keep that in mind, because I believe in LGBTQ, But anyway, true lady always finds some time in the morning to transform her usual weekday into a good hair day. These hairstyles are classy, fashionable, and easy to implement. Save them for inspiration and creative mood. Exactly. When you're feeling creative and you just wanna, and you're like bored of your hairstyle, go wild. Anything's possible. You don't even have to just look up a YouTube video. Do it yourself. Just find your own way to do it. Just make sure it doesn't look catastrophic. You can do anything. The first one is a French twist, and it says, Updo Hairstyles are a favorite among working women who don't have the energy to deal with long locks. Yep, that would go for me too. I have very short hair, and I don't like dealing with knots, so that's why I just cut my hair short. But you can still do, if the hair is still in your face, you can still do a little shortcut and do a French twist. These were made by business women in the 80s. A French twist is always beautiful and classic. Yes, very true. I see that in old movies a lot. The women are always wearing that type of hairstyle, and then either wearing like a maid's outfit or something. Like back then, it was women were like only in one position. They were the person that were at home, that would always cook, and they would have those type of hairstyles. But now women can do anything and express themselves in different ways. So the next one is side part bob. I think I have this one, like accidentally. I think I was born with this hairstyle. This style is a more modern take on the asexual political bob of days past. Add some flair to your look and give your short bob hairstyles a sleek side part, like our favorite female co-host, Kelly Ripa. Yeah. She does have that. That's true. And then there's a picture of an Asian woman, I think. I don't know if she's Asian, and she has this like medium cut side swept hair. That's what I have. That's literally my hairstyle if you've ever seen my picture before, which I don't think any of you guys have, and I don't plan to show my picture to anybody. I literally have that hairstyle, so blowout. My mom has this hairstyle, I think, just naturally. Amal Clooney has put blowout styles on the map for the modern, confident women. You don't have to hide your luscious locks in the workplace, but rather accentuate. It's either accentuate or accentuate them. The key to this look is keeping it slick and not messy. That is very true. You don't want messy hair unless you just woke up from bed. You need to look good on your first day to work or in work in general. Braided low bun. Pulling your hair back for that power lunch doesn't have to be boring. Again, add flair. It's okay. Doesn't hurt. Try adding a simple, pretty side braid to an easy low bun to look both fresh and stylish. Exactly. Don't overcomplicate it, but you can still add that little flair. And it's a picture of this woman with like it's basically with your hair tied low and a low bun with a braid coming out of it. And the next one is called Big Bun. That's a funny name. I'm sorry. Speaking of buns, the most popular trend in updos is definitely the big bun. Like it's basically literally just looks like a giant grape in your hair, to be honest. That's what it looks like. It's like a bun, but with braids. That's literally what it is. Fortunately, it works appropriate thanks to its sleek, no fuss style. This look is perfect for long or medium length hairstyles and doesn't include the hassle of complicated styling, because you know how much I love complicated styling. No, I don't. I don't have the time to sit there and fiddle with my hair. I got work to do. So I like to do things that are fast but stylish at the same time, because I don't like to waste my time. But you got to look good at the same time. Pull hair into a ponytail, add a braid, and then twist it into a bun and finish off with hairspray. Yeah, that doesn't sound that complicated at all, but honestly, I don't have enough motivation to do that, so whoever can do that, that's amazing. Loose waves. I think I had this too when I was younger, when I had long hair. I have naturally like curly hair, so that's why I had loose waves when I was younger. But it's a style, and it simply makes hair look finished without pins and prodding and a lot of effort. For women with limited time, me, I mean, I got podcasts to record. I got, internships at school. I got things to do. So this style is probably perfect for me. It can last a few days with just a touch up or a bit of dry shampoo in the morning. That's what I used to do. I wake up. I don't have time to wash my hair. I just dab in a little bit of dry shampoo. My hair poofs up like a freaking bush. Like my hair looks like a giant bush, but like a very neat looking bush. Like my hair looks really good when you put dry shampoo in it. That's usually my part of my morning. It's part of my morning routine to do that. It's interesting because the next one, I think I kind of have that hairstyle too at the same time. I have really short hair right now, but it's not really straight and flat. It's more wavy. but I kind of have a blunt bob. It says the bob is a crowd favorite when it comes to short hairstyles for women. Keep it professional by wearing a sleek style. Apply hair serum. I don't know what that is. Is that a fancy word for shampoo or something? I don't know. And blow it out straight for a complete smooth finish. See, mine's not smooth. Mine's completely wavy and wild, you know? It represents my personality in a way. So it's definitely not sleek and straight. It's more like a wild, puffy cloud in the sky. That's what my hair looks like. A dark cloud in the sky. That's how it is. You can't help how your hair looks. You just got to go with it and use what you can. The next one is the sleek fishtail. And this is giving me mermaid vibes. Gotta love that. Once again, cleanliness is key in the workplace. Almost any style can be pulled off. It's simply enough even braided hairstyles. A minimal fishtail is perfect for the working women on the go. And then especially when you take your hair out and then let it naturally flow down, you have that wavy blowout, I think it's called. When you take the braid out, it's literally just a braid that goes down and it looks like a fishtail. That's what the hairstyle is. And then when you take it out, it looks like loose waves. Honestly, the last one, which is like straight hair and it's all wavy. Yeah, it literally looks like that when you take it out. So just a little fact for the future. If you want some wavy hair, doing a braid is a shortcut way to do that. You don't have to spend hours curling your hair. Just put it up in a braid, let it fall flat, and then you got wavy hair. Easy as pie. All right, so the next one is simple ponytail for straight hair. Some of my friends have this, so if you're listening, friends, listen. What a low ponytail lacks in creativity, it makes up for in case and appearance. Yeah, true. Because sometimes your hair can look worse when it's down. So if you put it in a ponytail, it looks good in comparison. It's always clean and stylish for a confident woman on the go. Basically, if you're working out, it's a good style. Just literally do nothing with your hair. Just brush it out and then put it in a ponytail. Sometimes it looks better when it's up and when it's down, you know? Sometimes my hair is really oily. When I was younger, I had long hair, right? And sometimes it was really oily and sticky. But when I put it up in a ponytail, it looked much better. Because the hair wasn't in my face. You couldn't see the sweat like forming in my hair. It was much better. Oh, here's another one with the twist with the braid again. Are you in a rush to make that more? It's called low ponytail with braid. Are you in a rush to make that morning meeting? Pull hair back and add a little bit of braid to make your hair look done. I mean, with me, if I was in a rush, I would literally just leave my hair the same way and just put dry shampoo in it. Like, I cannot tie a braid to save my life. That would just be extra work. So if you can do that, good for you, but I cannot. Nothing says I mean business more than a low ponytail and extra braid detail, which would take me hours. It's just the kind of look a confident woman would wear. Oh my God, the next one. Feathered pixie cut. I think my sister has this one, just accidentally, because she looks better with it, honestly. Wow, this is literally my sister's hair. Okay, so the next one, obviously, is feathered pixie cut, like I just said. Adding texture to short hair is a quick and easy way to add style in the workplace. A feathered pixie is a simple and yet professional way to wear more natural hairstyles for work. Very, very, very interesting. I don't have short hair, so I cannot relate to this. I tried a pixie cut like that, or I tried cutting my hair shorter, and literally I got weird looks. Like, not weird looks, but my mom didn't like it. So I just decided I'm not trying to please my mom. No, like, I didn't like the hairstyle either. Like, sometimes there's just hairstyles you can't pull off, but it looks better on other people. So it's okay if you can't pull off a hairstyle. Just look at somebody else with it and pretend it's you. Okay? Like, sometimes you can't pull off something, and that's okay. So just admire it from afar. All right, so that was it. That was segment 1. I had a lot of fun talking about this because, again, it will inspire other women to do crazy things with their hair because sometimes they just leave it, the same way. And that's boring. You got to experiment, So up next, I will be giving you amazing tips for making a new friend, for introverts especially. We will be back.
Are you tired of the same old news? Are you sick of the seemingly endless political spin and negativity? The GSMC America's Still Beautiful podcast is a weekly news podcast covering all the top positive and uplifting news stories. We cover stories that will inspire, uplift, and remind you of the good in the world. Tune into the Golden State Media Concepts America's Still Beautiful podcast to get all the great and positive news stories of today. Download the GSMC America's Still Beautiful podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. Just type GSMC in the search bar.
All right, we are back with segment 2. Last segment, we talked about amazing hairstyles that will make you feel great. And now we're going to be talking about best tips for making a new friend. There's a lot of people who need this because there's some shy people in my group. I have a friend group with a lot of different personalities, and there's some friends in there that are really shy. And I think if I educate them on this, they maybe might make some new friends. You know, I'm here to help people, so that's what I'm here for. So I found an article called theguardian.com, and it says a lot of stuff on here. It's probably some advice to help introverts. Let's read it. Loneliness isn't inevitable. Loneliness isn't inevitable. A guide to making new friends as an adult. Oh, wow, especially as an adult. I mean, I'm an adult, and I don't struggle with it anymore, but there's just still some people that intimidate me, and it's hard to bond with these people because I'm jealous of them. There's just some people in this world that I can't vibe with, and I just wish I can get along with everybody, and you can't. That's just human nature. But I hope by doing this today, I can help other people who are struggling to make new friends. It would make them feel really good. So let's read the article. Striking up friendships can be tricky. Yeah, especially if you literally have trouble with public speaking in general. Literally, talking to people in a crowd is literally the same thing as public speaking, except you don't have the pressures of having to do an assignment and the pressures of getting a grade. Yeah, striking up friendships can be tricky, and studies show millions of us are lonely. Here, 4 people who forged new connections explained how they did it. Plus, psychologist Linda Blair gives her tips. Oh, I would love to read this. Let's read it. As an adult, it is harder to make friends. It is. And then there's like a photograph of adults talking in a group. Yeah, I know. I mean, when you're older, you are more mature, and you might be able to talk about things and talk about topics you weren't able to talk about before. So that's a plus. I mean, when you're younger, there's some topics that you're sensitive to and you don't feel like revealing everything. I feel like it depends on how you're born, but I think either you learn to trust more when you get older or you learn to trust less. It just depends, and that's what's hard about it. So let's read the article. When you were a child in the playground, it is pretty simple. But do you want to be my friend isn't a line you hear from adults. Even in my teenage years, I haven't heard that. Like, the only time I get, do you want to be my friend, it's from people who have like a childlike nature, you know? Because that's what people do when they're, you know, a kid at heart. They're like, do you want to be my friend? Want to play? Not want to play, but want to hang out. Like, that's what you hear from people who are like children at heart. Grown-ups don't do that. Grown-ups, it just naturally happens. You can't force a friendship. Literally, it just happens whenever. But yeah, teenage years are filled with friendships, easily made and sometimes forgotten. No, that is not true for me at all. It was easy when I was a kid because it's just like, want to be my friend? Or literally when I was younger and I was a little kid, I was crying in a corner. And then one of my friends who became my best friend for like 15 years came over to me and was like, do you want to play? And then I was like, yeah. And then that's how the friendship started. I was a 5-year-old crying in a corner and I was lonely. And that's the only reason why I had a friend, because I was lonely. But now I make friends to boost my confidence and to make me happy and to make them happy. Like, it's different now. I make friends now to give people confidence and to boost my own. Not just because I'm lonely, not because I need to make friends. I want friends. I don't need them. I mean, I do need them. You know what I mean? I'm not desperate for friends, let's just say. I don't need friends to define who I am, is what I'm trying to say. So, yeah. So teenage years are filled with friendships easily made and sometimes forgotten. Yep. When you are feeling keen, sociable, and energetic. But when you grow up, you have to start focusing more on your job, and you're so focused on your jobs and responsibilities that you forget that you have friends sometimes, and you get so invested in it that it becomes your sole priority. I mean, jobs are supposed to be your sole priority, but not to the point where you forget about real people. So you need a balance of both. But this is just about friends in general. Loneliness is something we feel at all times and to varying degrees, but it can also be something that we feel uneasy about admitting to. Yeah, that's true, especially when we're going through a lot of stuff right now. It's really hard to admit, because you have other problems to deal with. So let's actually get into this article now. Let's actually read it. Another study published in the journal Personal Relationships found that investing in close relationships was associated with better health, happiness, and well-being in adulthood. That's very true because the people you interact with can help you through your problems. It just depends on who you trust. Still, making friends as an adult can be hard and takes time. Last week, a study from the University of Kansas found that two people need to spend 90 hours together to become friends, or 200 hours to qualify as close friends. I mean, I don't think we should pin a number on it, but if that's what the scientists calculated, that's fine. But I feel like it depends on the person too. It depends on the environment. It depends on a lot of things. It's really hard. Clinical psychologist Linda Blair agrees that this can be difficult to achieve. Usually the basis of making a friend is a shared experience. These are often in abundance in our earlier years, but once those easy opportunities are gone, you can forget about the initial basis for a friendship is to have a similar passion or interest. Okay, so I'm going to admit that's a little hard for me at the moment because all the friends that I have, that's not true. I mean, some of my friends, we have the same interests, but not a lot. I mean, me and my friends are attracted to each other because of how different we are. I'm more into I'm more into radio and using my voice, and my other friend is more into movies and classic movies and stuff, but that doesn't mean we can't connect because there's parts of movies that I like. I like modern movies. I like, there's some funny moments in movies. Like sometimes, yeah, we can disagree with certain things, but we can get along. Yeah, so I agree with everything that was just said. Joining a group or class based on something you really love or volunteering for something you care about can be a great first step for finding friendships, this girl advises. That's very true. But unfortunately, it's very hard right now because we are at home and we're not on campus all the time because we're out of school right now. So it's really hard. But we can try. Although it can be tricky and nerve-wracking, making new friends as an adult can also be rewarding. A message Jacqueline Thomas, 52, is keen to share. Moving to the Warwickshire village of Bulkington in 2015 with her partner David, who is soon to retire, she relishes the opportunity to start anew. We've had to start from scratch because we didn't know anybody here. Our kids have grown up, so we were looking at a slightly quieter life, but it's actually turned out to be busier than before, she says. Jacqueline started by introducing herself to her neighbors. Yeah, myself, I don't talk to my neighbors that much. I did when I was younger, and we bonded about a lot of things because we were young. We both loved playing on the trampoline. We both liked playing outside. Now it's hard because we're all different people now, and we all have different interests. But that doesn't mean I still don't care about my neighbors. So, I see them from time to time. She credits signing up to a variety of classes in a group at the village hall as the catalyst for her new friendships. That's nice. She joined the WI instantly, worried it would be all jam in Jerusalem and I'd be the youngest person there. But she now says it was one of the best decisions of her life. She says don't be afraid to try something new. Yeah, you gotta be bold and daring to make new friends sometimes. Sometimes you don't want to step out of your quiet little box and you just want to stay home and play video games all day, but that's not an option. to make new friends, you got to step outside your comfort zone and get out and do things. You got to be active when it comes to this stuff. A lifelong wheelchair user, Jacqueline was intrigued by a poster in the village hall advertising an adopted martial arts class. Oh, God. Really? I don't know. Will she be able to handle that? I don't know. Having gone along with some doubts, she was surprised to find how much she enjoyed it. Wow, that's interesting. I don't know how she was able to pull that off. Encouraged by her teacher, Carl Hodgetts, who in 2006 became the first wheelchair-using kickboxing instructor. Oh, that's interesting. But how do you kick without using your... I guess you just sit down and you kick in the chair. That's interesting. She now proudly holds a white belt in Shying Do adopted martial art. Wow, that's impressive. It just takes one leap of faith. Even if you're absolutely terrified, do it, she says. Even though she was a bit shocked about the martial arts, though. I've tried to make risks in the past. They didn't work out. But now I'm starting to feel more daring because I've been inside most of my life. I mean, not most of my life, just all of quarantine. I've been stuck in here and I'm like, you know what? I just want to go out and do things now. So I think I'm going to be more daring now because I've been stuck inside this whole time. So I think I will. Over the past couple of years and nearing 30, I think I is the word I is talking about Jacqueline. I made a conscious decision to make friends, not to replace old ones, but to make new connections. Friendships, says Blair, are like an onion. There's all these layers of friends, and the inner layer are your best friends, the people who you will be with your entire life, and that won't leave you for something small. You probably only have 2 or 3 in your whole life. You might not gain a new best friend, but finding friends for different interests in your life at different stages can be positive. It's hard, though, with mine because I like a certain artist, right? Her name is Dua Lipa. I'm only talking about her right now, and I'm obsessed with her lately. I know I have OCD. I shouldn't be obsessing over someone, but I've been interested in this artist for literally like 2 months now since being in quarantine, and I can't find anybody who likes her. None of my friends like her. None of my friends care about her. So sometimes it's hard when I want to talk about her, and I'm ranting to my friends about her, and nobody cares. Like, it's something like that. And again, it's easier on the internet to find people who are interested in the same thing, but those aren't trustworthy people. The trustworthy people are people who are the ones that don't really care, but they care for you. The things you like, they care about what you like, but they're not going to like it themselves. They're just going to care for you. They don't specifically care about what you're talking about, but they're caring for you about what you're talking about, if that makes sense. Like, they don't have to like exactly what you like to care about you, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I didn't actually get into the list of suggestions this woman is giving yet, because this is a really long article. So I'm going to scroll down and read some of the suggestions that she gives. Linda Blair's friendship tips. The last 3 minutes of this segment will be discussing this. Build your self-confidence is one of them. That's a big one, because if you don't love yourself, then you can't love others. So you have to focus on loving yourself, which I have to do too. I only 70% or 60% love myself right now. The other 40% is due to not going out and not doing anything. So, yeah, liking yourself before going off in search of friends is an important step to building healthy relationships. Think about what you like about yourself. I know what I like about myself, but there is more things I don't like about myself. So that overpowers the ones I like about myself. So you got to find that equilibrium. Actually, no, you got to get rid of the things you don't like about yourself and just embrace it and make them into positives. When you're comfortable with yourself, it shines out of you. Yeah, exactly. Like when people give me a compliment, I just say thank you. Like, I don't say anything else. That's what you should say. You shouldn't say like, oh, I know, I'm so fabulous. Like, I'm the best, most talented person ever. No, you can't be like that. You can't be egotistical and you can't be flaunting all the time. Just say thank you and that's it. Like, that's the biggest test to see if you're confident or not. If you're confident, you just say thank you. If you say, yeah, I'm so fabulous, yeah, blah, 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 you're not confident in yourself because you're just trying to make yourself seem better than everybody else. If somebody says thank you and then you're like, no, I don't deserve it, same thing. You're not confident in yourself because you don't believe. Either you're trying to make yourself seem more fabulous than you think you are, or you're honestly not believing it and you're just being honest and saying, no, I'm not, But that's the biggest test to see if you're believing in yourself. And if you're either of those things, too egotistical or not, or just not believing in yourself at all, that means you need to work on your confidence and you need to know what your strengths are and what they're not. Also, find something you feel passionate about. Yeah, I already know what I'm passionate about. Music. I mean, not like singing music, not theory music, but I like producing music. I know that I like to make music, and I know my parents are like, oh, you should do it for yourself. And I am. Like, I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't like doing it. It's just, I have this notion of wanting to make other people feel happy too. And my parents are like, no, you have to do it for yourself. And that's where it should come from. It should come from the joy of liking doing it, not wanting to make other people feel happy. That's not what it's about. Because I hear singers being like, oh, I just want to make others feel happy. I just want to inspire people. But they don't say, I'm also happy with I haven't seen them talk about themselves because they like to keep that private. But it all comes from yourself. I apologize if I sound mad in this podcast. I just feel so passionate about what I'm talking about. You know, making friends is very important, but you got to love yourself first before. So I'm sorry for yelling. It's just that I hit a sensitive spot because I don't really believe in myself yet. So that's kind of why I got mad. So I'm sorry for yelling at y'all. I just, I get so sensitive when talking about this topic because it's like, how do people believe in themselves? I don't understand how and why, So I understand the advice I'm giving you, I don't fully believe yet, but I do advise you to believe in yourself before making new friends. I mean, you still can make new friends, but you got to find confidence along the way is what I'm saying. So, okay, that concludes this segment 2. We're going to move on to segment 3. After this commercial break, we'll be right back. Before we go to break, we will be talking about amazing things to put in a time capsule. We will be back.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
All right, hello everyone. We're back for segment 3. We're going to be talking about, last segment we talked about best tips for making a new friend. And now we're going to talk about amazing things to put in a time capsule. And we're going to talk about that right now. So I found a website called joincake.com and it says 38 things to put in your time capsule ideas. Let's go. Let's read this website. A time capsule is a collection of items that paint a picture of what things looked like in the past. It's meant as a form of communication with the future and whoever digs up the capsule. Very true. This might be the future you or a random This might be the future for you or a random stranger. Creating a time capsule is a fun and creative activity, leaving a snapshot in time to discover later on. Here are 38 ideas for items you can put into your time capsule, which I need. I need ideas because I want to make one for myself and for my future kids. Because I want to give advice to them. I want to tell them my life experiences and how to handle things because they might have some trouble in their life and they may not know who to go to. So they can go to me. And maybe my future self can look back on all the cringy memories I've made when I was younger, especially at this age. I will open it like 20 years from now. I'm 23. I will open it when I'm 43 and be like, wow, this girl was a mess. But you know what? We're all growing. We're all learning. So it's all right. So here is time capsule ideas for a baby or first birthday. A time capsule is a great way to remember your baby's first year. It will be such an amazing gift for your child to get to dig this capsule up in their future. I don't know why my parents didn't do this. I mean, maybe they didn't have time because they have jobs, but yeah, I would have loved to do this. Here are some ideas for what you can put inside. Newspaper from the day you were born. That's very interesting because it will show you like what life was like, or like the events that happened, or if it was a celebrity's birthday. Putting in a newspaper from the day from the day your baby was born is a great way to remember the day. You'll be able to see what a newspaper looks like. Yeah, exactly. And all the current events going on that day. Exactly. It's just like, wow, things were so much different. Like, I wish I was there for it, you know? Like, I wish that's what happened. Wow. That is amazing. I like that idea. Yeah, so that was probably my favorite one so far, and we didn't even get through the whole list, so let's read on. First rattle or spoon. I don't think my mom even kept my first rattle or spoon. She probably threw it out with all the other stuff that I had when I was younger, because I, loved a lot of stuff when I was younger, all those baby toys. Yeah, or any keepsake will do. This is a fun way for the future version of your child, or whoever finds the capsule. It could be like some random old lady who finds it or something. Yeah, this is a fun way for the future version of your child, or whoever finds the capsule, to see what kind of baby items were used in the past. It's also a heartwarming memory to your family. Very, very true. I don't even know if my mom kept my rattle. I'm not sure. All right, so the next one. A favorite outfit. Yeah, here's the thing, though. I didn't like fashion at all when I was younger. So, I mean, I might appreciate it now. But when I was younger, I didn't give a dang about any of the clothes that I got. Whenever my parents got me a video game, I was like, oh my God, thanks, Mom. You're the best. And then when I got a piece of clothing, I'm like, really? You got me this out of all items? Now I'm much more appreciative of clothes now. Especially because, I sometimes admire a celebrity or something, and I want like a t-shirt with their face on it. But honestly, in general, I'm starting to like fashion more, and I like expressing myself. So I'm much more appreciative with gifts now, because it's like your parents are not going to be in your life forever, and they're not going to be giving you gifts forever or whatever. So you got to appreciate it, But yeah, a favorite outfit. It is so fascinating to see what babies wear throughout. Oh yeah, for babies too. I was talking about me in general, like throughout my life, but yeah. Where babies wear through time. The styles change so much, but put a favorite outfit in, and if you dig up the capsule someday, you're sure to feel sentimental and maybe even have a good laugh. Again, I don't even know if my mom even kept my old clothes, so that's probably not an option. But in general, I'll put in some clothes that have sentimental value. I'm pretty sure there's plenty of those now anyway, because I'm old enough to appreciate it. You know what? I'm going to move on to things for adults, because these are all things for babies. Oh no, never mind. This is a very short list, so I'm going to keep going. A favorite outfit, pictures, a letter to the baby. It's a really nice idea for parents and other family members to write a letter to the baby. Yeah, so you know that your parents have loved you even the first time you were born. That will be a reminder that your parents truly love you and they do truly care about you. Yeah, that's a good idea. Write a letter to the baby or the future version of their child. I don't know why my parents ever did that either. I'm going to ask them if they've ever done any of this stuff. This will be a lovely keepsake for your little one to find someday. Yeah, I'm definitely going to do this. Because, you never know. I'm not trying to scare any of you, but you could probably die. What if they lose you? What if they lose a parent? They got to have some memory of you if you're not there anymore. So that's a great idea. It would be a lovely keepsake, definitely. Recorded baby coos and giggles. I think my parents already kind of gave me that with my birth video. Except I was crying. When I was born, I was crying like a freaking frog. I sounded like a dying frog when I cried. But that pretty much counts as recording baby coos. Because, I made a lot of baby noises when I was born. And it was recorded on a camera, my birth video, so... Yeah, get a tiny recorder and record those adorable baby coos and giggles. This is guaranteed to be a delight for the person who ultimately digs up the capsule. Yeah, I guess. All baby coos sound the same, though. So, but if it comes from you, I guess it's a really magical experience, because it's wow, that's what my voice sounded like. And now your voice is completely different and it sounds whole and defining of your personality. Before, you just sounded like a baby. You sounded like, and now look at yourself. You have a fully developed voice and it's like, wow, I sounded that young, you know, when you were a baby. It's like, wow. A birth announcement and birthday party invitation. A birth announcement and a birthday party invitation is a perfect item for the baby's time capsule, I guess. Oh yeah, pretty much the birth certificate, when you were born, what time you were born. Because some people want the time they were born. For people who believe in astrology, they want to know their, what is it called? The Leo rising or moon rising, whatever the heck it's called. I'm sorry, I'm not into astrology, so I don't know. But they want to know the exact time they were born so they can know their moon sign, I think it's called. You have a sun sign and a moon sign. I don't understand it either, but you can look it up if you want to. There's some people who want their like exact birthday time. I don't know about the length and weight. But yeah, and likely the address of the home you lived in. I mean, I don't need the address that I was born in. My brother knows it already. Like, he memorizes stuff from the time he was born to now, actually. He's like 22 now. He memorizes everything. So if I need my home address, I could just ask him. It could also show someone from the future what your tradition of celebrating birthdays was like. Yeah, my birthdays were normal. Either they were Barney themed or Dora themed. I mean, it was pretty much either of those two options. So I did this kind of a hand and footprint. When I was younger, I did this thing with clay where I would put my hand on like a clay tablet and then it would dry over time. And then my handprint, I have like a picture of my baby handprint on a clay tablet that's dry. And it's still sitting on my countertop, I think. Like, I still have it. My hand was so tiny. Honestly, complete the time capsule with an adorable hand and footprint. There's nothing cuter than teeny little hands and feet. Exactly. Like, I can't help it when I look at my baby hands. They're so cute. And I'm just like, look at the tiny little sausage fingers. Like, oh my God. Okay, time capsule ideas for kids or students. Let's actually, you know what? I'm going to scroll. No. Okay, we're good. Let's look at this one. Time capsule ideas for kids, students, or even teenagers, honestly. It could be for anybody. Certificates or ribbons for your accomplishments. I don't care about this, honestly, because you don't need a ribbon to define what you're good at or what your talents are. So, I mean, they're good for memories. I get that, but they're not there to define your life. So I honestly wouldn't put them in there. They're not that important. Other people may disagree with me, but I think that you should put in things that really mean a lot to you. If you don't care about your certificates, that's fine. I don't personally care about mine. I would put in things that really have sentimental value. Like, I do appreciate my accomplishments. It's just nothing to brag about, you know? A letter from your parents. Yes, I love that. I would definitely put that in there. Because, again, it's a reminder that they love you and they support you and blah, 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 all that stuff. It would be fun to read your parents' hopes and dreams for you. And then when you read it, their expectations might be different than what your job actually is. Like, they're like, oh, were you a doctor and you're doing surgery? And in real life, you're actually like a computer gamer or something. They won't be disappointed in you. It's kind of interesting to see what your parents' visions were and to see what yours were, and they're completely different. The packaging from your favorite snack. Yeah, that's interesting. But here's the thing. When I eat a snack, I immediately throw the packaging out. So unless you want me to dig through the garbage, that's not happening. Toy or stuffed animal. I mean, I don't know where my pet bunny went. I had a bunny that I've had since I was 13. I think I talked about it. I don't know where it went, so. An all about me page. I would love to do that because I love talking about myself sometimes. Start with a blank sheet of paper and be creative. Decorate this page with your age, height, weight, hair color, eye color, and all of your favorite things. And these are some of my favorite things. Sorry, I had to. Your hair color might change in the future. You never know. Illustrate the page and make it colorful. Interesting, because like you could be like 20 years old and have brown hair, and then in like 20 years, you're going to be a 4-year-old with blue hair. You never know. A letter to your future self. Here's the really important one that I like to emphasize. A letter to your future self. What are your hopes and dreams for your future? What do you want to be when you grow up? Tell the adult version of yourself everything you want them to know about your life right now. Yes, I would love to do that because I honestly don't know what I want to do right now. I mean, I know I love podcasts. I know I love audio and I love to talk and stuff, but I don't know what I want to do as like a main career yet. So if I tell myself in the future, what are you doing? What job do you have? I will get an answer back. I will answer myself back in the future. I will, I promise. All right, so that was it. That was the end of segment 3. And up next, we are going to be talking about the things that I personally would put in a time capsule. I'll be adding on to the last segment. We will be back.
The Golden State Media Concepts Travel Podcast, the show that gives you advice on everything travel. We explore places you've always wanted to go, as well as giving tips for traveling in those places. We'll give you advice on the best sites for travel tips, information, and discounts. Join us as we travel the world, explore cultures, and meet new people. The Golden State Media Concepts Travel Podcast has got you covered. Download the GSMC Travel Podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. Just type GSMC in the search bar.
Hello, everyone. We are back with segment 4. Last segment, we talked about things that you should put in a time capsule, but now I'm going to add on to that and tell you things that I would put in a time capsule. I have a giant list right here, and I'm going to tell you all the things that I want to tell my future self and remind myself of all the accomplishments that I've done. Not every single award. Again, you don't have to flaunt or brag about every single little thing that you've done. Only keep the things that really have sentimental value. And one of the first things that I'd like to put in this time capsule would be my first tooth. Because here's the thing. Throughout your life, your teeth are developing. And you really want a memory of your growth, right? You want to document or like a memo of your life and what you've been and how you've been growing. And I think the first tooth is a good one because your teeth are always shifting. Your teeth are always falling out. And I think your first step into life is honestly losing your first tooth. It's like your first step into adulthood. So I think it's a perfect thing to put into your time capsule. Doesn't matter if it's gross looking and yellow or something. Doesn't matter. When you're younger, you probably forget to brush your teeth and your mom yells at you or something. Who cares if the teeth was yellow? Who cares? Save it. It means you're developing and becoming an adult. Each tooth you lose, it's kind of like your first step into developing. You know that you're growing. You know that you're going to become an adult and have a job when you grow up or something. So I think it's a perfect memo to have. So another one is, again, a very important element in development. Pictures of yourself from young until you're older. So like literally there's people on YouTube who take pictures of themselves every single day. And I know it's hard to do that. But it's very fascinating to see how the person's face develops over time. And I think it's also fascinating for you to do the same thing. Keep almost every single picture you have and put it in a time capsule. I mean, you don't need to keep it right now. You know what you look like. So put it in a time capsule for like 20 years in the future to see. Because sometimes when you're older, you forget what you look like when you were younger. So if you want that reminder of how much your face has matured or something, or how big your nose, like how small your nose was, honestly, look back. And some of the images, pictures of yourself in general, will bring back memories. Because again, when you're older, you forget things. So like there's some memories of, I have some faint memories right now. I'm 23. I still have faint memories of myself from when I was 4. I still remember my 4th birthday party. I still remember that it was at this boat place. I don't remember where, but it was this museum and I saw like a boat or something. And then we were standing on some like platform and taking pictures. And I had this girl with curly hair next to me. I remember that. I also remember my 5th I remember when I was 5 and I was with Erin somewhere and we were in some building and I don't know why I remember this, but my friend Erin had like white stuff on her lip and it was annoying me. I don't know why, but anyway, that's not the point. The point is you'll be forgetting those small memories when you're older. Like I'm forgetting every single day about what I did 5 minutes ago. So it's good to keep pictures of yourself in certain memories to remember what you've done. I think another thing is your favorite books and games, especially me, my favorite games. I've developed so much. Like I used to play video games all the time. I used to be very competitive with video games and it took over my life. And now it's so much different. I now have a job. I now have like a career kind of in school and I have a podcast internship and it's so much different now. Like I'm not invested in video games anymore. So it's nice to have a reminder of what you used to like and what you used to dedicate your life to. Like I used to love video games. Sadly, I used to love reading. I still read, but I don't have the same love for it anymore. So it's nice to look back and to see how curious you were when you were younger, how much you wanted to learn, how much you wanted to know about life. So it's nice to keep the books that you've read or the poems that you've written or something like that. Like anything that you were passionate about. Just remind yourself of what you used to like and what you like now and how you've developed. It's very interesting. So the next thing that I would keep for myself is all the comics I've written. This is very interesting because I hate drawing now. Like I would never have the patience to just sit down and doodle something. Because again, it's not my main form of art expression. I like to write music. But when I was younger, I used to love drawing comics of my life experiences, like just funny moments in my life. And I just used to make up stuff all the time and be funny. And yeah, when I was younger, I used to be obsessed with being funny all the time. But that was just a phase I was going through. But I used to love drawing comics, and that was kind of an insight or like a gateway into what I'm doing now, which is creative stuff. I used to love creating comics and stuff. So I would love to keep that to give to my kids to read, to maybe inspire them to write comics, and maybe if it's a future career for them or something. You know, you never know. Your kid could end up being a famous comic artist or something, or a famous artist or something. Inspire your kids with your past interests. It doesn't matter what you like now. Share with your kids or even your future self of what you used to do, and maybe you'd want to go back to that thing again. Maybe I'll draw comics again in 20 years. You never know. Reignite yourself with your past interests, no matter how stupid they were. Seriously. Like, don't get obsessed with the same thing again, but just inspire yourself with your old interests. Again, another thing that I would put in a time capsule is my old stories. All the old stories I've written. Just look at your old stories or your old pieces of work and see how far you've come. This is also a good way to boost confidence. Look at how messed up your life was when you were younger, or look at how much you've developed, because writing develops over time. Your brain function develops over time. Just look at your past work and be like, wow, I've really come far. My writing used to be complete crap, but now I'm like a full-time author and I write books or something like that. Like, just look back and see how far you've come, basically, and how your ideas have developed over time. It's an amazing experience, honestly. Also, another thing to look back on is songs that you like to, songs that you've listened to in the past. Again, another thing is listening to music. I have a personal story to share because this is very recent, but I used to watch this show called Austin and Ally. It used to be, I was 15, and it was like a TV show on Disney Channel. Some of you people might know what it is because you've been around for it. Mostly adults might know what the show is if you watch Disney Channel. But I was only 15 and I watched this show. It literally was about two musicians who wanted to change the world or whatever. And there was like amazing songs that I just bonded with and started to listen to. But I never put them in a playlist. Like in the past, I never added those songs to my iPod or anything. But now that I'm older and I now like appreciate the songs for what they are, I have now added them to my playlists. And every time I listen to those songs, I think of the TV show and how amazing it was in, you know, motivating me to continue writing music, because the show is literally about music. Like, music is my life. So I use it as a motivational tool to even work out. Like, I love working out and listening to music, and I've been listening to those songs while working out, and it just pumps me up so much. So honestly, use it as a motivational tool to get yourself going, to motivate yourself to do things. It's a very, put it in a time capsule, your old favorite songs, so they can motivate you in the future and remind yourself of what music you used to like. I don't know what else. There's other things that I want to put in the time capsule. Maybe, I don't know if I talked about this, but my favorite books. I talked about my favorite games, but my favorite books. I used to love reading in the past. Like, I used to love reading books, reading the words and picturing like images in my brain. Like, I used to love doing that. And if you put your favorite books in your time capsule, you might read them again. In the future, you might not even remember what you read. So if you read it again, you might remember and be like, oh my God, I remember reading this book. So yeah, do that. Like, read the books you used to read and remind yourself of the things you love, And honestly, it might inspire yourself to write your own book someday. Again, I was just talking about being an author. If you used to love writing and you just lost some creative flow and you don't know what to write anymore, look at your old favorite books and that might motivate you, So the last thing I'm going to talk about is some CDs of I would put CDs of my singing or piano playing or some music production that I've worked on, like instrumentals or something, because I love writing music. So like, I know it's hard to put like physical songs into a time capsule, but I would put like CDs of it. I know, like, you can't put, how you stream things on Apple Music? You can't put Apple Music songs in a time capsule. So I would literally burn a CD. I know it's old school. Like, your kids might not even know what a CD is. So honestly, do it just because you want to remind your kids what a CD is. And that's classic all in itself. But burn all the songs that you used to write, or clips of you singing, or piano playing, or anything. Even a video DVD. Yeah, a DVD too. Burn it on a DVD and put it in a time capsule. And then later your kids can open it and be like, oh my God, you used to love piano playing? You used to love this, love that? Like, anything. Like, I think that's an amazing idea, and you should go for it. So, another thing you should put in your time capsule, in my opinion, is, this is the last thing I'm going to talk about. You should put in, like, your old homework from your school, like your old homework, some of your old drawings or something, like when you used to write, like your handwriting. Your handwriting has probably developed so much, like mine has. I used to draw like a horse. I used to draw like nobody has hands, or like I used to draw like I had trouble writing, and that's normal because when you're younger, you have terrible writing. But over time, it became neater and neater, and I love seeing the progression between what I used to write and what I write now. So you should look at that, how your handwriting has developed, how your writing in general has developed, and it's a really amazing experience to see how much you've grown in general. This whole entire experience should be very reminiscing for you, and I hope it goes well. Whoever is planning a time capsule, please do this because it's a very amazing experience. So that is it. That is the end of segment 4. I had a lot of fun talking about this segment and just doing this podcast in general. I had a lot of fun talking to you guys, and I hope I inspired you all to write a time capsule and to do the things that you love doing. So thank you for tuning in to the GSMC Life and Happiness podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I would like to ask that you please remember to subscribe to the show and write a nice review. That really helps us. Also, if you could please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thank you.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Life and Happiness Podcast, part of the GSMC Podcast Network. You can find the show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcasts on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. Just type in GSMC to find all of our shows. From the GSMC Podcast Network, from sex and relationships to health and wellness, life and happiness, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's episode of the Golden State Media Concepts Life and Happiness Podcast.